guys, welcome back to another episode of Sister Sister, a podcast for spiritual baddies. We are your hosts, Ellen and Maya, and today we're going to be talking about the Mayan calendar zodiac. And as you may know, a lot this season and coming up in future episodes, we'll be talking about different kinds of astrology. So, this is one of the more common ones. There's like so many, but without giving a lot away, we're going to be talking about Mayan astrology, which the Mayan have been around for like centuries. So they have a well versed system and it's really interesting. So without further ado, Elle, why don't you get right into it?
Okay, so what is Mayan astrology? Mayan astrology is rooted in the Tzolk'in, a sacred 260-day calendar used by the ancient Maya. It's a complex system of interwoven time cycles, but the most important one for determining your personality type is the day signs. Of the 20 different day signs, half are animals and half are forces of nature and plants. Mayan astrology focuses on the spiritual connection between life and nature. Each day has its own vibe called a Nahual, and your birth date's specific sign reveals one's personality. In other words, your Mayan sign is less about your cosmic destiny and more about the energetic imprint of the way you were born. Oh, more about the energetic imprint of the day you were born.
So, that being said, we can now discuss the difference between Mayan and Western astrology, which is most practiced today. Western astrology is tied to the sun's position in the sky at the moment of birth and the 12 sign zodiac wheel. It also measures space and has 12 zodiac signs of 30 degrees measured along Earth's 360-degree ecliptic. In contrast, Mayan astrology measures time. It's based on the 260-day Tzolk'in calendar's 13 repeating cycle of the 20-day signs. The Mayan zodiac changes daily. An individual's day sign describes their typical attributes and most dominant personality traits. While the systems differ, there's one important overlap: Venus. The planet Venus is important in both Mayan and Western astrology since both systems track its movement and influence. Overall, the systems differ in structure and symbolism, but both are ultimately tools for self awareness.
So, what are the different Mayan astrology signs and what do they each represent? Below, Stardust breaks down the 20 Mayan signs and their core attributes. Okay. First, we have the crocodile, which is protective and team-oriented. The crocodile, or Imix in Yucatec, is the first day sign. It concerns itself with the concept of new beginnings and ideas. Crocodiles are natural-born leaders who are not afraid of changes or challenges. These are driven, energetic, creative, initiating, intelligent, and forceful individuals who are assertive and have a can-do, bold attitude toward life. Crocodiles are often domineering and self-serving, but they can make significant changes in the world if they utilize their powerful energy wisely. Then we have the wind for number two, justice seeking but can be indecisive. Wind, or Ik in Yucatec, is the second day sign. Wind is an invisible driving force. It's concerned with intellect and communication. Wind describes individuals with cunning minds, incredible personal power, and great awareness. They are generally multifaceted, versatile, and adaptable, but also idealistic and romantic. Wind individuals are free-spirited and open-minded, but tend to be indecisive, overly idealistic, and frequently struggle with commitment issues. T. Feel bad for anyone who's a wind sign. Can't make a decision. House slash night, which prefers tradition and structure. The third day sign is house slash night, or I'm I'm gonna screw this up. I'm just gonna say that now. Akbaal in Yucatec. This sign concerns itself with inspiring change by bridging the gap between old traditions and values and futuristic ideas. These people are loyal friends and companions, have strong characters, project project an imposing presence, and are capable of achieving a lot. House individuals are deep, introspective, grounded, and stable. They're a blend of old-fashioned wisdom and youthful optimism, but often struggle to find the right path. Lizard slash seed, passionate and self-serving. Lizard, known as Khan in Yucatec, is the fourth day sign. It's a sign of performance, sexual maturity, and independence. Lizards have high standards. Self-esteem is crucial to them, and they're often attracted to attention-getting activities. They're passionate people with a lust for life who are energizing, alluring, and natural entertainers. They demand freedom of expression and live authentically. Although dynamic and brave, they can at times be overbearing and uncompromising. And then number five is going to be the serpent, which is charismatic, spirited, and full of energy. Serpent or Chikan in Yucatec is the fifth day sign. The serpent sign evokes power and charisma as well as emotional upheaval. Serpents are intelligent but also extremist. They're altruists who are highly empathetic and considerate of others. Still, they have strong characters, will fight for their beliefs, and their reactions can be strong. They navigate the world with their intuition, delve deeply into the human psyche, and often find themselves in a highly charged emotional situation.
The
Also, did I say at
next,
the bottom that yours is the lizard slash seed?
yes.
I saw mine's the deer.
Yeah, I got interested in looking them up and I did the same, or I was going to do the same for Vedic astrology, but then I forgot what your rising sign was. So, because it's really just sidereal astrology, but I was just like, I forgot her rising sign, which I was like, it's an Aquarius rising, right? I was just like, I swapped them. I was gonna say Aquarius moon, Scorpio rising, but I was like, that's wrong. So I'm just gonna ask, and then we can re-talk about it then. But yeah. So to go through the next five, death or Kimi is often transformative and self-sacrificing to the extreme, and is the 6 day sign. Kimi symbolizes personal sacrifice, acceptance of change, and transformation. Deaf individuals have a selfless and wise nature and carry a deep sense of responsibility. They are intelligent, spiritual, and have a calm disposition. These people often experience a life full of change, but they can adapt to life's ups and downs. Due to their sacrificial nature, they can sometimes take on burdens that are not theirs to carry. Deer or manic, I'm gonna say it's gonna manic. But anyway, you are unique, eccentric, and one of a kind, and is the seventh day sign. A deer is nomadic, very sensual, artistic, eccentric, and innovative. Many are trailblazers and leaders and are inclined toward success and achievement. However, a deer is contradictory in many ways. Family and community are of great importance to them, but so is their freedom. Deer people have firm boundaries and struggle to let people in and reveal their vulnerable romantic side. Still, they can be territorial and protective, especially over people. Rabbit or lamont are energetic, quick-witted, and love debate. It's also the 8th day sign. They are lively and excitable people with clever, active minds. I didn't even know excitable is a word, but okay. I realized I just copied this part. But anyway, they enjoy games, competition, and must always be doing something. Still, they seldom take things too seriously. Rabbits live in the moment and take opportunities as they present themselves. Rabbits can also be argumentative and self destructive at times. They Their challenge in life is to tame their restlessness and attention-seeking energy. Water or muluk are deeply emotional and empathetic. They are also the ninth day sign. Those under this sign are emotional, imaginative, and often struggle with powerful urges. They are great dreamers and visionaries and even occasionally psychic. They're also natural born leaders who lead by example, are responsible and disciplined, and have incredible emotional intelligence. However, if they're not careful, their emotional depth can lead to obsessive behavior. The 10th sign or day sign is the dog or Ak, who are collaborative and group oriented. It, it's a sign of loyalty, leadership, consistency, and commitment. Dogs are team players, creative, and very loyal to those they care about. Dogs like to roam but don't stray too far from home. They can be incredibly trusting and cooperative, but are easily hurt and can be critical. They also have a suspicious nature and are prone to worry. Dogs' main challenge is to keep their heart open after their trust gets broken.
Next, we have the monkey or Chuan, which is the 11th day sign. They're an entertainer with a curious mind that seeks attention. They represent creativity, innovation, and the birth of novel ideas. Monkeys are clever, demonstrative, cooperative, and compromising. They crave attention and are often found in the performing or communicative arts. They are socially active and yearn for the ideal partner, but often struggle with close, intimate relationships. Monkeys are childlike, curious, and Monkeys are childlike curious, have little patience for details or boring routines. They find it challenging to stay focused and often forget the realities of the present moment. Grass or ebb is the 12th day sign, and they are nurturing and overly sensitive. Persons born on a grass day are careful, helpful, emotional, reactive, and compromising. Grass individuals are rational and easygoing, but also very touchy. They're not quick off the line, but once they get going, they don't stop. Grass people live in the here and now, make clear judgments, and are business minded. Still, they're never cold or heartless. Although reserved, they feel and care deeply. I'm going to re-say that because those commas were not in the right place. Although reserved, they feel and care deeply. They're generally a fine blend of rationality and emotional maturity. Still, they may come across as overly rigid and stubborn. Reed or Ben is the 13th day sign, and they are powerful and forceful with their demands. Reed is a powerful sign associated with knowledge, strong opinions, and forcefulness. Persons born under Reed are self-assured and determined crusaders who seldom give up. They're usually popular, accomplished, competent, have deep knowledge of human nature, and often come across as authoritative. They're structure-loving people who can be intellectually rigid and prone to arguing, as they tend to find other people's perspectives and opinions challenging. The jaguar or Ix is the 14th day sign, and they are daring and headstrong. Jaguar is associated with magic and is gifted with intelligence and powerful intuition. They're deep souls who crave meaningful connections, see the world from a higher perspective, and tend to be physically gifted. These individuals are trustworthy, spiritual, and not afraid to get involved in the lives of others. Still, their mysterious nature can make them come across as secretive or manipulative. And then eagle or men is the 15th day sign. They're a visionary full of wisdom and knowledge. Eagle is associated with vision, freedom, and attention to detail. Eagles are generally independent, stable, and I don't know why my brain thought that said perseverance for a second. Okay. Eagles are generally independent, stable, and perseverant perfectionist who are technically minded. They can be very ambitious, yet they also enjoy a good escape now and then. They're open-minded, observe from higher perspective, and are natural-born philosophers. Ego can sometimes be rigid, rebellious, and have an untamable desire for freedom. My brain was like, that word doesn't make sense there. That can't be what it is. And it like took me a whole minute to like reprocess what it's.
The last five. Next is the vulture or kib, which are ambitious, ruthless, and a spiritual messenger, and is born on the 16th day sign. It's the sign of authority, hierarchy, and good luck and new beginnings. Vultures are incredibly self-aware, status conscious, and driven to high positions. Alternatively, they can become the victims of those already in power. They are they're serious individuals who have learned to rise above their defeats, overcome their limits, and face life realistically. Vultures are often hardened by life Vultures are often hardened by life and challenging to reach emotionally. Their primary challenge is to see all the ups and downs in life as learning experiences and not to become cynical. Next is Earth or Kaban, which represents upheaval, revolutionary, and capable of evolving the masses. Earth or why did I? Anyway, Earth is also the 17th day sign. It represents forceful intellectual activity and progressive thinking. Earth people are often controversial because they want to initiate and to go where no one else has gone before. They're generally philosophical, have profound minds, and love to contemplate and develop earth-shaking ideas. They're creative thinkers and innovative trailblazers who explore the possibilities and try new approaches. Earthquake people are highly self-aware, and while they try to worry or tend to worry a lot, they are often, let me just read that over. Earth people are okay. Earth people are highly self-aware, and while they tend to worry a lot, are seldom dull or pessimistic. Don't understand why that was so hard for me to say, but anyway. Next is the knife or T-Jacks, who are often courageous leaders, and it's born on this 18th day sign. Knife represents both self-sacrifice and self-interest. These individuals have a sharp mind along with a bright, shiny, and reflective nature. They strive to live in harmony with life, tend to have high moral values, and believe in balanced relationships. Fears or irrational thoughts seldom cloud their judgment. They're practical, mechanically inclined, very social, but sometimes vain, intellectual but critical, and self-sufficient, but with a romantic nature. Still, due to their mental acumen, they can seem cold and quite uncaring. Excuse me. Next is Storm or Kawak, who are quick learners that act on impulse and intuition. And it's the 19th day sign. Rain is associated with diplomacy, balanced relationships, and a need to belong. It's also a sign of compassion and healing. Rain people are youthful, restless, mentally active, and friendly. They are usually multi-talented but are their best at counseling and healing professions. These are warm, caring, and loving individuals who are family-oriented. They are extraordinary caregivers, and rain is often associated with cleansing, purification, spirituality, connectedness to a higher power, and abundance. Last but not least is the flower, also called nyctae, which are impractical, dreamy, and artistic. Flower is also the last sign. It's a symbol of beauty, perfection, and the ideal. These people are loving, artistic, emotional, and reactive. They are persistent dreamers who often have unrealistic expectations. Still, they are devoted to friends and lovers. Genuine, curious, gentle, loving, nurturing, and caring. Flowers make everyone around them feel welcome and comfortable. They're intelligent but have an innocent, childlike nature and are incredibly spiritual.
I just want to say I found it very interesting that the first sign and the last sign kind of line up with characteristics of both Aries and Pisces, which I know like definitely isn't on purpose, but it's very interesting that like the start and finish have very similar characteristics in comparison between the two.
Yes, and if you guys were interested, I did calculate both mine and L sign, and I'm the seed, also known as the lizard. Yeah, the lizard, and L's was the deer. And when L was reading the deer, I was just like, this reads L so hard. Like this is L in a nutshell. The lizard one, some senses, yes, I agree, but then there's other parts where I'm like, hmm, I don't know. I don't think I'm quite an attention seeker personally, but that's just me. Natural entertainers, yes, I love making people laugh and, making people happy, but and demanding freedom and living authentically is also pretty accurate, but the whole attention getting kind of stuff, I'm just like, maybe to some extent. But anyway,
Yeah, no,
um,
the deer absolutely read me to filth.
yeah, I was just like, this is L so hard. This is L to a T. So let's talk about the rest of this and how it influences compatibility.
So, Mayan astrology can offer insight into how we relate to the world around us and to each other. It can help us comprehend our communication skills and the role we play in relating to others. Rather than predicting romantic success or failure, it emphasizes growth, development, and interpersonal awareness. I love that because I don't think that compatibility is based off of one simple look at something.
Yeah. And that being said, I also think that while astrology is not meant to tell you how your life is supposed to begin and end and how everything is supposed to fall in place in between, it definitely can help you in your personal and professional success. That being said, it's pretty much a self-empowerment tool, and it's meant to give people the opportunity to use their strengths and powers as well as define core personality traits as we just discussed, but it's not meant to be a North Star in your life. And like any astrology, it's not meant for you to just like say, oh, yeah, this is something that, I'm going to rely on from here on out. So, all that being said, if you're interested in learning more about your Mayan zodiac sign, you can use any Mayan online calculator, and we use my Mayan sign to find yours. You can find the link to all that in the description box. But yeah, definitely learn more about Mayan astrology. I thought it was pretty interesting. In some ways, they related, in some ways, they didn't. But then again, it's to each their own. So let's get right into tarot time.
All right, let's see what the collective needs to hear today. Once again, the cards just coming out before I even finish asking. Oh boy, we have the Eight of Swords. All right, the Eight of Swords is about feeling trapped. You feel like someone has kind of tied you up and you're stuck in this like feeling of anxiousness, of not knowing what's next. You're kind of just like entrapped. It's like you are put into a cage and you can't get out. There's no way out of it in your head. And you kind of gotta like do some digging to be able to figure out how to get out of the situation. So yeah, not a great note, but maybe do some self-reflection on why you're feeling trapped. Does it have to do with something that you did, or is it something that people are forcing onto you? That's the question.
Interesting. Let's see what Astrology Almanac has to say about that.
Today, Uranus and Gemini will trine Pluto and Aquarius. This aspect will push your ways of thinking and help you to create a more expansive mindset. Give yourself permission to try new things and see where it takes you. Then on the 19th, Mars and Gemini will sextile with Saturn and Aries. Take some time to focus on your passions today. This aspect can help you to find clever new ways to succeed. Be sure to take calculated risks, though, as Mercury is still retrograde, so you don't want to change anything too drastically. Then on the 22nd, the Sun enters Leo, marking the beginning of Leo season. Woo! For the next month, you will see a surge in creative energy, which is great because on the 23rd, Mercury stations direct in the sign of Cancer. With Mercury now direct, any fogginess you may have been feeling is now beginning to lift. And with the planet of communication in the sign of emotionally driven Cancer, you can reconnect with anyone you may have felt some difficulty with over the last few weeks.
That's tea.
Yeah, the tarot card makes a lot more sense now, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it always does every single time. Every single time, it just all makes sense. Very well rounded. Well, that is all for today's episode. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Sister Sister, a podcast for spiritual baddies. And be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe and follow if you haven't already. You should be at this point. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.